pretty confident on the gun.
It was found. Yeah,
On the floor plan. Floor plan? That was...
I guess, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure on either.
Let's try both then.
Yeah, we got enough health. Let's do it.
Tables.
I guess.
Alert Bozo.
L number 2 recorded.
Save complete bitch ass
in
niggas.
4K. Okay, let's try the what's it called?
It's just
The
me with the
investigation
camera in the
report.
background.
We're just
I
gonna
have to pass
start
those
throwing
pictures,
darts at the
Blue.
board. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Tables.
Of course.
Yeah.
4K.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
Tell
the
me,
report?
Lalo.
Man, you had it, Tables. You had it.
How did you know he had been shot?
Well, I...
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. Your testimony, you told the court. No one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. You knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known?
Yeah!
Damn, she clapped.
Sheesh. That's good
I
to
was
see.
thinking
Good job,
because,
good job,
like,
good job.
what's it called? I'm supposed to know.
Lucifer.
Laxative.
Not even trying anymore.
You weren't hiding something from the court, I hope.
I got amnesia. Head ass. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
Now I remember.
Of course you do.
Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
That's a
Of
added
course.
to your life sentence.
All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
I was about to make a
Don't
joke.
care. She saw something, I know it. And the victim said so.
I saw
Then
bullet
men
holes
tell
in the
them
wall.
to
I knew Mr. Latouche had been shot.
Go back to the gunshot claim. Go to the present. Let's look at that floor plan real quick.
Can you even see the bullets from the outside of the wall? Or let's check it.
She would have had to come in the whole room to see that. She claimed that she just peeked. There's no way she could have seen the bullet holes because the door swings outwards, covering them up.
Black toys. Black toys.
Oh, I thought.
Yes,
Anyways.
present.
I thought
You
you
see,
said
guys, that was just too advanced for what the game wanted.
You are.
Alright, Leah.
Lammy, something,
go right
something,
there.
something. But lies are hardly becoming such a creature. Or
A put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah?
Damn, polished forehead.
why is Apollo just not challenging them on these forehead claims? I'm sick and tired of this. Come on, can't I be cool for once?
He reminds me of Dib from Vader's Zone.
The diagram. MER, you looked from the door for just a moment. Correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes? They were here in the wall. Or, they were in the wall, the door's on. See? Assuming you nearly glanced into the room. You couldn't have seen those bullet holes.
You're...
laptop?
Yes.
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point.
Oh.
It appears you have been holding something back.
You're right, Jasper.
And I must tell you. I must tell you what it is I saw.
See, the happenings in this trial are being recorded, you know. And I'm certain it will be on the news in Borginia.
You're gonna get your ass beat.
You do understand your reputation's at stake.
Like
It
when
falls
she goes
to you
home.
to avoid tarnishment.
Like when she goes home, she's gonna get her ass beat.
Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing.
That's what to make a really bad joke.
Personally speaking, I don't give a fuck.
She knew how Mr. Latouche died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lemroy.
Limerick?
Aye,
Express.
Lamior, please continue to investigate your testimony.
Very well. I shall.
What I saw, too.
The second part.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
Bruh.
There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi.
Yes.
It was a grown person. I know it was.
Thank God, defending the child. He doesn't deserve to die.
So
Reverse
you
psychology.
did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice
I
play,
imagine.
Air Forehead.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna accept that.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamior.
Yeah, you weren't lying.
What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong.
Smells like ass.
I definitely washed them today.
It was a grown person. I know it was.
Let's press that.
How you know that? A grown ass. A grown person? That's a little vague.
A grown up.
I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly, you could at least see what the shooter was, male or female.
Bisexual.
It was a man. A young man.
And you are sure of this?
Yes. His voice was quite clear.
Boys.
Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I try to rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice, it was the voice of a man.
So you heard the voice. But wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. I did not just say, did I not
What
just
I
say
just
that I
said?
do not forget a voice?
Yeah, you have amnesia.
If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Look at this.
So, you were at the window, and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony.
Write it down, write it down!
That proves that it wasn't Machi.
Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light.
At the shooter still out.
What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
It's pretty good.
That
Why would
shit
they show
hard.
us? Why would they show us this if the story didn't want us to pick as contradictory?
You trying to metagame here? I don't
Now
think
that
I
there is a spitter right there.
I mean, Apollo was being silent. He also did say it's something fishy.
He was a little fish baller.
We could look
In
at our
his,
court
in his
record.
mind.
Can we look at our court record? Okay. Said it wasn't male. Right.
Let's look at our people. Look at our peoples.
Hard keys. He's gay. Got it. All right. Let's get moving. Contradictory.
You see,
Yeah, I forgot about that dude. The guitar dude. But he was at the band, I forgot.
what about the car keys?
Our guitar keys
Holds
and the
keys to a
motorcycle.
guitar case and a
Can we check them?
Me and my niggas, we black.
black.
Oh, that's the
look at
guitar
the-
key right there.
Can we look at the keys? Individual keys. Do they say anything?
Guitar.
There are 3 keys in this heart-shaped key ring. And this guitar-shaped key is the key to the guitar case.
Wasn't he saying he had to break his case because he couldn't get it unlocked? I could open a lock like that in 10 seconds easy.
Flex, don't you?
You should have given me a call.
You're a criminal.
We're
You
kind
could
of
slap
man.
handcuffs on you after you opened it?
Handcuffs? 20 seconds tops.
Hello?
Bruh! You know, yeah.
She's a down ass chick. Trucy, I respect it.
She said, I ain't going to jail, bruh. Take your hands off me.
I need her on my side.
I'll cross her up.
You'll cross her up and then she'll...
I mean, she got crossed up last episode with the panty
Yeah.
snatcher.
Exactly.
She did.
She hit with that Euro step.
Her got broken. Isn't there like some TikTok trend of like people crossing up random like people and like objects and dogs and shit?
Not surprised.
Is there anything else to examine on this keychain?
Of course not. It's
Yeah, like
contradictory.
the ring itself.
No.
Come on, silly goose.
How is it contradictory, Tablez?
We're black for crying out loud. Bruh, listen, right?
Yeah.
It's dickhead. It's dickhead, bruh. He did it.
Who's Dick here? Oh, you're talking about the gun. I'm not the gun, the guitarist. He said, Clavier said that there's no way it could have been anyone in his band because they were all playing on the
Yeah,
fucking
I bet they
stage
did.
and the-
Well, I mean, he's the only one who messed up, so he could have done something during the shice. But I don't know if that sounds like it's a bit too advanced for what the game was.
It is too advanced, but maybe we'll get to it. You feel me?
That's cap.
Honestly, I'm convinced it was that mysterious man, but like, unfortunately, he's so mysterious. We literally don't know anything about him.
Golden Freddy. That's
Nice.
there we go.
Golden Freddy was the one who did.
Shoot at your woman. I'm so asleep, but can we just go like, like?
Yeah, I mean, why are we still here? Let's get out of here.
Nigga, why the fuck did y'all examine this bullshit in the first place?
I don't know.
Shut the
why,
fuck
man.
up.
Though it pains me to say this, I metagame the fuck out of this. There's something about that Lamb Roar's testimony that rings false.
I have no idea what it is though.
Bravo, Air Forehead. You're colder than I thought.
I'm sure you remember what the problem was as well as I do, Mr. Gavin. It has been established no grown man could pass through that air vent.
Oh yeah.
He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime.
But that means that Lamure has to be lying.
I know. And I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this.
Cannot lie.
Believe me, the idea was tempting. I mean, shoot.
It is as Air Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradicting of their testimony.
Ooh, what next? Go ahead.
What you talk about?
What are you talking about?
Lamua, I understand why you would want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the side of the ballad. And lies do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
I don't get it.
It sounds to me like
Hollow.
matter then.
What's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that?
You're not cool enough, unfortunately, Apollo.
Not
I
yet.
recall the state of the crime scene quite well.
But we'll get there.
State of the room.
Yeah, give him another 2 games after this.
Yeah, man.
2 games.
Yes, and when the murder took place, he's cool. He's cool in the next game. That window was closed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess he is, but it's just a shame that I can't say stuff.
That gumshoe dies. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Shame, I miss him.
Yup.
I miss him.
I find it hard to believe that you could hear a voice through it.
It took Phoenix 7 to pass
What?
away.
But I'm sure.
Shut the
I
fuck
know
up.
when they kill off
Lamra.
Phoenix.
I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But in my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
Damn. That sounds charged. That sounds
You would be
charged.
correct.
But she's the only eyewitness we have.
How was that charged? So you say. And the victim named her the Siren as a witness?
When Sly asked that, everybody turned into the cookie eating emoji. That's right. That's what
You
Mr.
niggas just say things and hope people agree with you.
I might have to start doing that on Twitter.
Niggas just say shit and you just expect people to be like, you spit. And I'm like, what?
Honestly, we had no reason to attack Hitler. Anyway,
You're gonna get one like. You will.
we heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and then brought us to this. Judge. Blue.
Judge.
Yeah?
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
Get the fuck out.
Please.
Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But Miss. What? There's no miss in that.
But if Lamiqua,
But if Lamiqua can't testify,
And we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
suck off
Danke.
the prosecution.
Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective again.
no.
Well, objection. Wait, let me hear. Let me ask. Testimony one last time.
The cross-examination is already over, big head.
You're over.
Until such a
You're canceled.
time as a need arises. This witness may leave the stand. Get your ass on.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
The fuck out.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Air Forehead?
Xavier's like, now that we got the Middle East.
Oh.
No.
I hope I didn't just miss my only chance.
Fräulein Detective,
Only
how far have we
fans.
gotten until we were so rudely interrupted?
Don't ask me.
I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore.
Wow, that's a shame.
What an asshat.
If
Fuck the
you
trumpet.
would,
Bad advertisement.
this guy.
I'd rather go to Astroworld.
Hmm. I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Letus Killer could have escaped was via the air vent on the ceiling.
Gosh, bro, Among Us.
Ah, yes. There was only one door in the room. And a witness, you, was standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big. See? Kinda limits the people who could possibly get there.
I certainly would have a difficult time. My fat
You
ass.
sure would. You sure would, your fat ass. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert? The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant.
A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. No, even something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumcision of the defendant's breast.
Great.
Circumcision? Again? But I already got that shit.
Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre.
He was knocked out in the Yamcha pose.
Yeah, she's right. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at in this room.
Boy got hit by the Cyberman.
Why did Mr. Latus's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of the stage tower,
How could the little boy do that?
holding a guitar, no less. Was the
A perceptive observation, Air Judge.
I think it was playing Gmod.
Oh, shit. I mean, oh, thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But if you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for things.
He's been hanging around Phoenix.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good, Fallen Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us? Why was the body moved? And how does this lead us to the killer?
Yeah.
We've had how many testimonies?
I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamior's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene.
What?
All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant,
Cuss, dude.
unless he's being framed.
Lame song?
Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not?
It's code.
All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held on so tightly were stolen. Then,
I'm sorry, I was yawning again. The
him
prosecutor
to
Gavin's
sleep.
guitar burst into flames on stage. So Latus's life was taken by a bullet.
the rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky.
That's brazy. It's like a story out of some mid.
Alright.
Damn. I admit I've forgotten about Fairy Tale. There it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale.
Hey, you know I was the one who noticed that first.
Watch Fairy Tale.
Cool.
I heard some jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing.
It's a wild world out there, Judge.
Yeah, you're not ready for it.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's move on to the next. The cross-examination.
Damnation.
Cross-examination. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure I'm gonna be doing much singing.
People do actually count to songs. Have you ever counted a measure in music before?
Yes, sir. Oh, man.
It helps you learn like the rhythm of how the song is supposed to go.
And
Oh.
Machi practically left his signature at the scene.
Man, if that's the case, the homophobia is fair game.
Right.
Press- What do you mean by that?
The bullet holes in the wall is what I mean by that.
Bullet holes? Everybody catching bullet holes. Bullet holes.
The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim.
No. Can't be serious.
Machi, he can't see. That's why he missed?
It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly, I might add.
That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed. Shag.
Surprised he even landed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me.
Everybody catch a bullet hole.
Bullet holes. Injustice. What do I do now?
Let's raise an objection because that's never failed us before.
I agree.
Tapes.
Yeah, man.
Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. That doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see.
Oh, how so?
Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolt.
The revolver.
A revolver has a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate their shoulder. Like snap, crackle, pop.
Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tawaya, is, as far as you can see, or as you can see, tiny.
4 foot.
It's not hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. Kickback alone would send his ass flying.
That kickback do make a nigga fall back. A convincing argument, to be sure.
We got smile
Aha,
though.
take that, smug prosecution. My smile.
Apollo?
But
L.
That bit about Machi being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim, aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it?
Idiot.
oh,
It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was without a doubt the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point.
crikey! I really put my foot in it this time.
But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, Frolin Detective.
Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony.
Right.
From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind.
Let's press that. Anyway.
You can't just say he was blind because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that.
I wouldn't call it proof, per se.
You've merely raised a possibility. Frolin Detective has made the most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there is more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vents.
But wait, if he was blind, how would he know that about the air vent in the first place?
Ah, a very good point. Well, Frolin Detective, if you would care to explain.
Doesn't really seem sure of himself.
We call the crime scene, if you would. There's a stepladder below the air vent.
Ain't
As
no
it happens.
fucking- My bad.
Maintenance was scheduled for that day. Studio staff went around checking all the evidence for imposters.
I don't believe it.
Everyone backstage was told about this maintenance, including Machi. He would have known that there would have been a way out at the top of the stepladder.
But that's why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to
Poor nerd.
consider what that stepladder was doing there.
Bruh.
Looks like the defense. The seduction has been squished by a stepladder.
Body.
Air forehead? Out of ammunition, perhaps?
I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive.
He mad.
Shot.
Maybe he's caught in the scent of blood.
Paulo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need to do something to prove that the killer could see.
Whoa, Trucy.
That'll put him in his place.
Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence that I can prove that though?
Let's check it first before we
let's
do
check.
anything else.
Shooter can see. The shooter can see.
Wait. Oh, I know. I was about to say, like,
do
when
we
you have
have
to
his
read the lyrics, I was
autograph?
like, oh, I guess you have to look at or sound the lyrics.
What?
We have his
Read.
autograph on the. Was that his handwriting that did that autograph on the paper? The little ticket.
Lyric sheet? No, that's Lamion and Gavin.
Dang, dude. Get out of here.
And Mao.
Go to the right page. Can we look at the thing next to the autopsy?
What that Snapchat look like?
Look at the crime photo.
Hmm. I think it definitely wrote something up there. Look at that. And it said, "Creek."
What if he was ready? Shit, no. Let's go back.
He was alive for a little bit.
Go to the floor plan.
The what?
The floor plan. Check it out. That's a lot of shit on the floor, and there's like barely any way to reach the body without having to walk over all that shit. Unless it wasn't like that before. I don't know what the room looked like before the murder took place.
Let me see the question again.
Is there any way we can prove that the killer can see? Or the evidence that proves that? Do I have any evidence that could prove?
That proves that what's his name?
Killer
Can
was
see.
killer. Yep. We're trying to prove that the killer was not blind. And
Okay.
I was starting to think, you know, the floor plan implies that the room is extremely dirty. How the fuck is he not gonna trip over all that shit?
I mean, you can feel around.
Feel around before I murder a nigga, I guess. Anyway, go back.
Let me see that picture again.
Fine
Nyanga.
for you?
Are we not supposed to know what that say or something?
Doesn't look like
Or is that
it.
supposed to say something? I feel like it's supposed to say something. I don't know.
It's like that whole Maya trial when they wrote Maya in blood.
I wish, but I don't think he could be the floor this time around.
It says throat goat.
How do you even see that?
Okay, interesting. Do you think maybe I don't know?
You think like a blind boy would have to know the layout of the room in order to know where everything's at and all that shit? Or you can shoot things through the wall? I don't know.
Not really. But would he be? I don't know. I feel like that writing being unreadable means something, but I can't put my finger on it. Go back.
Could be writing. I don't know. My that one thing called where niggas just be
Look at left
seeing
page.
shit that isn't there is fucking me up right now.
Why the motherfucker isn't blind? Well, it's one of those two things, to be honest. I mean, no one can read papers in general, even if you did have eyes. So
I mean, you can just listen to papers, but I mean, someone would have to read it.
just
doing
pick
it.
that other option that joined to say like on the back. Yeah, we
No
got
social
something.
left. Oh no, we got
Darien.
it.
Oh. Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge.
As I knew you would, Air Forehead.
What exactly am I up against here? Prosecution is saying the shooter missed because he or she couldn't see. Therefore, Machi. But who's blind did it? I'm sorry, I don't even know why I read it like that. Bruh.
The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see.
Which one is it?
What are we looking at?
We were thinking between the crime photo and the floor plans.
I like. Let's go with the picture first because it has colors.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's a good argument. Facts.
I mean, I don't know how to argue with that.
This is that evidence.
And if you'd just been a bit more assertive in your assertions.
I'm the rawest retard alive.
Yeah, you gotta be more confident. You gotta be more confident,
Wait.
dog.
I mean, I think it was Phaith that mentioned it first, but then Tablez actually took a closer look at it.
Look at Phaith go, bro.
I just knew it was one of the
I
photos.
told you, you're
Read,
the carry
Tablez.
Tablez. You're amazing.
Bro, Jet Lane,
Who's
read.
Blue is right.
Oh shit!
It is equal. I don't know
The
who the judge
photograph of the
is.
crime scene.
I don't care much for the smirk on prosecutor Gavin's face.
I don't care.
This is no time to think twice. Time to press on.
Press
Slam
everything.
table. Yes, Your Honor. Crime scene. There's something here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point.
Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger
Yeah,
out of
point
the
the
breeze
photo.
and put it to good use, yeah?
Damn.
How about you take my finger out your ass when I fist you?
Very well.
Very
Show
well,
us what
do
you're
it.
I know you're homosexual, but this can wait.
Wow, homophobic Steven. You said gay rights can wait? I agree, honestly.
That is not what I said at all, and you know it.
Hey, let's look at that word. The word. I want to read it. I want to read it.
Honestly, when I see it, I see traitor.
Even though I have no
or
clue what the
something
question
like
was.
that. Or
It
I
literally
see
says-
it. And
Literally says
Tramp stamp?
TH. Whoa. What did you say? You said trans? I got you, my boy. Let's get
trans,
it.
right?
Why are you
Contradiction
throwing
is-
cool words on me?
Hey, y'all,
Go ahead.
What?
What?
The contradiction is right here.
The smeared blood stain on the floor.
I thought it was just my blurry vision, my astigmatism, my glaucoma. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
Gang signs. It's almost as if he wrote something.
I get it. At least, I think I get it.
Get
You know.
what, Fraulein?
When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name?
Maya Faye.
And what would he write in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. Certainly a logical conclusion.
Drat. I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
He said he fucked up the name
course it's
and he ran out of
rubbed
time.
Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I.
No one has anything else to say?
Nah.
About what, young man?
So the prosecution accepts this? You agree that this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? That the killer tried to rub the name out?
What's your point?
What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name?
I smelled the blood on the floor. Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Wait,
Once he saw what it was.
But what did you just testify about the shooter?
I said they were blind. Ah!
Slams on the freaking table. Crime scene itself contradicts that. Killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind you something? He couldn't have been the shooter.
He's blind. Impossible!
Bink, bink. Hey, yo, shut that shit up. Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what it all means. I mean, just look at this shit, dog. It's quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet up until now,
It seems I owe the court an apology.
I'm sorry for fucking around.
The Gaviniers are a band with law enforcement ties, yet the murder occurred during our concert. Apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner.
Nigga, please don't.
I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Updated autopsy
Hey,
report.
Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us.
I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents. But before that, I have a question for Fraulein Detective, if I may.
What?
Tell me, why do you think Machi Tobaya is blind?
Huh?
What did he say?
What are you saying? Of course he's blind.
Of course.
He's a blind pianist, right? So he doesn't Lamnior lead him around by the hand all the time?
No way.
I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tobaye. According to this, Machi Tobaye can see perfectly well.
What?
Hard.
His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can
Niggas
see
wanna
quite
be-
well.
You just want to be
That's
Stevie Wonder so
crazy.
bad.
what you said?
Fake blind.
What did I say exactly?
Nothing.
Air Forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fallen Detective.
Wake up! Wake up!
But
Okay.
that's
A significant fact, yes. Consider, Machitobaye sees. He was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this.
But what about the bullet holes in the wall? Like his aim and shit.
Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Air Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has flown off the brightest skies.
Brighter
This is where the
sky.
real fun begins, Air Forehead.